Hi friends, hopefully the connection has been fixed. Yeah, looks like it is. We've had some technical issues, accept my apologies. But anyway, it's Friday, which means it's time for another high intensity fat burn workout. And the topic for today is six-pack abs myth versus reality. And the reason we've chosen this topic today is because there is so much misconception, so many myths, and like most of them are 30 or more years old. And you smart people deserve to know the recent research and effective strategies based on that research combined with like common wisdom around training. And so in the closer to the end of this session, I will share the exact actionable blueprint of how would someone start their journey to the visible six-pack and get there in as little as 4 weeks to, let's say, like 12 weeks, depending on your starting point, on where you're starting from. Because if you have like 50, 60 extra kilograms to shed, then of course it will take longer. But still, the system is the same, and as long as you stick to the right system, and as long as you keep showing up, you will see the result, I promise you. Because this is like, there are no magic pills, but your equivalent of a magic pill is consistency, and of course having awareness and having the right system to get to your goal as soon as possible. And this is what we're going to be discussing today. How to get to that goal of visible, aesthetical abdominal definition, and that may mean different things for different people, but we will stick to the common sense that in order to get your abs visible, you need some certain level of low body fat percentage combined with some definition of the core musculature of your rectus abdominis and your oblique muscles, so that there is something to show when your fat finally melts away, melts off of your body. So let's start by looking at the results of the poll that we have posted a couple days back, and there were, like, the question of the poll was, what's the biggest myth, what's the biggest misconception about training for visible abs that hold people back? And there were 4 options. Let's start with the winner. The winner is, let me pop up this poll for us to have a look. So, yeah, the winner was, well, let's go top down. So the first option was that you need to do 500 or whatever, like gazillion crunches in order to get to the visible abs. This one is partially true. Of course you need ab training, but this sounds ridiculous, right? And you don't have to do crunches necessarily, and like especially 500 of them will get you nowhere probably, and not to mention that at this number of reps it gets into this cardio kind of zone more than strength training. So that's ridiculous, and some people do that. The more crunches they do, the better they get to the result. And again, it's partially true because you're still expending calories, but is this the optimal way? No, of course not. Now, second option was that cardio is more important than strength, and this is partially true. So cardio, of course, may help you get to your lower fat percentage faster, but cardio alone will not get you anywhere, because, well, let's say you have got to your like 8% body fat, but if you haven't done any strength training during this fat loss phase, then there is nothing to show. So your abs are like, you will just have a flat tummy, hopefully. Yeah, but there's not gonna be any meaningful muscle definition. So training your abs is extremely important, not for purely aesthetic reasons, but we will discuss it a bit later today. Now, one of the most popular myths is that you can spot reduce fat. And even though there is this new research that seems to show that there is some spot reduction possible, but first of all, it's like very little, it's 5% above the rest of your body. So when you train your abs, the fat on your abs is gonna be burned like 5% like more than over the rest of your body, which is not like a meaningful difference, and you have to still be in a calorie deficit for that to happen. So it's like, you know, marginal difference. So for the sake of this session today, we can assume that this spot reduction is a kind of a myth. At least it's not like, you can't rely on that. So you don't have to train your abs specifically for your abs to show. Even though this is true that by training your abs, it will make it pop out more, which will make it more visible on a higher fat percentage. So, of course, that will make it more visible sooner, but it doesn't mean that you are burning fat from your midsection necessarily. So you may see this kind of effect, positive effect, but it's not because your fat is melting away more in this area. This is purely because the muscles develop themselves, and you develop the muscles in this rectus abdominis, and it will just pop out more through the fat. But the fat is gonna be there, unfortunately, until you deal with it through all the ways, you know, or the ways that I will share with you in a minute. And the last one, which is the winner so far, is that abs is made in the kitchen only. And this is, of course, again, this is partially true. So, of course, you need calorie deficit to get to the low fat percentage and to get your fat burned off of the midsection so that you reveal your abs. But you also need to strength train, because we have discussed it many times before, that just, you know, getting rid of extra fat and not training anything will just make you a thinner a thinner version of yourself, and it may even start looking, depending on your body proportions and depending on how much muscle you naturally have under your fat, it may start even looking like sick. And mostly from my experience, people who try to do it without any help from strength training, they end up looking like they feel amazing because they have lost all this fat. But if you ask someone who know them like from the distance, they will say like, something is wrong, are you sick, my friend? So that kind of, it yields that kind of reactions, because, well, the muscles are undeveloped, unfortunately, if you are not working on them. And as soon as you lose all this fat, you will reveal those weak arms, weak legs, chicken legs, this flat abdominals, which has no definition whatsoever. And well, that's a good achievement already, but you may as well start training along with your fat loss journey and along the way with fixing your nutrition, and then in 3 months, let's say, which is totally realistic time frame, you will get to this goal where you are not only thin and lean, but you also look muscular because you have been working on your muscles for all these 3 months. And it doesn't have to be weight training necessarily, and this is what we're gonna prove today. We have picked 5 amazing exercises that will hit your abdominal muscles really hard and kind of confirm this idea that you can still build meaningful amount of muscle with calisthenics, and of course we will burn a ton of calories along the way and attack basically this problem from all those angles so that it takes as little time as humanly possible to get to this goal. And yeah, so the real truth is that you actually need both. You need your nutrition fixed, you need to train your abs so that it looks great when the fat melts off, and there is no single exercise, there is no magic pill. Let's get this straight. There is no special crunch variation that will get you to this 6-pack abs in 10 days. There is no such thing, and anyone who claims this is a liar, or they are trying to get a piece of your money. So this is pure fantasy or pure lies, depending on how you view things. And let's just, for today, let's focus on what works. And for the best result possible in the least amount of time, you have to apply some training, some ab training. You have to fix your nutrition, or at least start paying attention by, well, if you haven't tried counting calories, the minimum thing you can do for your nutrition is just start counting calories. This is immense, because the counting itself is not even important here. The important thing here is that when you start counting calories, you will immediately, using some kind of app, or even just using pen and paper, you will rise your level of awareness about how much you eat in terms of how many calories you actually eat in the day. Because people are notorious for underestimating how much they eat and how many calories there are in their meals. So even the most experienced people will kind of underestimate usually. But of course, well, I just eat the same stuff. Like, I just rotate meals for which I know the calorie density, so I'm pretty accurate at estimating the meals that I know. But then if there is something in the restaurant and I see this for the first time, sometimes I can estimate, but other times if it's like something, some bowl of something, it's hard to say really. So anyway, you will have to get your training in check, which is this workout that we're going to be doing today, and you can repeat it from 3 times per week up to 6, 7 times per week. It's not fatiguing. You can do it every day, or if you need rest, you can take rest. You have to fix your nutrition, and the first step I suggest you do is start counting calories and see where that takes you, because this thing alone will probably lead to you eating less. and at least you will get awareness of how deep you are in the calorie surplus. Because if you're not losing weight, then you're either in maintenance or you are gaining weight. And then you will have to also take your recovery in check, and maybe it's already fine, but you just have to be mindful that your sleep, your recovery is in check. And then the fourth pillar of this method is consistency. So the fourth most important thing is to make sure that you are applying those principles consistently. So it's not like you're counting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then suddenly on a Saturday night you go all in and undo all the effects of the previous week. That's not gonna bring you anywhere. That will yield only frustration, and you will eventually quit probably. So same with the training. If you only have 10 minutes for training each day, this is the workout, this is the go-to workout for you. It takes about 12 minutes, and you can do it every day. There is literally no excuse. I will show all the alternatives you can implement for all fitness levels. You don't need anything for this workout except your water bottle and the jump rope. And even jump rope is optional, and I will explain alternatives for people with achy knees and for extremely overweight people, so that everyone can participate, because this is what this is all about. It's about making it accessible to all fitness levels so that you can scale it up or scale it down depending on where you are at right now in your journey. And then also that you can stay consistent. So the workout itself has to be realistic. And hopefully the best type of workout is the one that you can do every day. But then again, depending on your fitness level, you may need some days off just to have a bit of a breather and restore your energy. That's totally fine. Yeah, so we have discussed that we need training, we need nutrition, we need recovery, and we need consistency. Recovery, I mean 7 to 9 hours of sleep. You all guys know all of this, and on top of everything, the easy kind of, let me give you a shortcut for all of this. Go check out the description of this live stream right now. There is my book, which is totally free. You just give me your email and you go download the book. This is it. No, no credit card, no nothing. Just subscribe to the mailing list and you get the book for free. And it contains all of this information broken down with a lot of tricks and quirks and actionable advice and suggestions how to structure your meals and your workouts and everything. So if you want a shortcut, just go get that book and you're golden basically. The book itself, it doesn't necessarily suggest any specific workouts. It teaches you how to construct the workouts for your circumstances, for your lifestyle. And what we're going to be doing today, like I said, it's something that pretty universal for all fitness level. Everyone can do this, and basically you have no excuses not to do it whatsoever. So it all boils down to making this decision. I want to get to my dream body in 4 to 12 weeks, and I will go all in. So I will get my nutrition in check. I will start doing those workouts at least 3 times per week, and I will fix my sleep, and I will stay consistent. And if you need some accountability, then come see me every Friday. I'm here for you every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern European time. Yeah, now let's get to the demos, to the exercise demos, and just to reiterate before we dive into the exercises, that the exercise, this component of strength training is important to make your core developed, and developed core musculature is not only gonna help you get this visual six-pack abs, but it also will improve everything you do in life. So this is your kind of life vest. This musculature is involved in all the movements where you play with your kids, where you go grocery shopping, where you kind of play all the sports like football, basketball, whatever, where you like, you know, suddenly stand up from the chair and you're not getting this lower back pain and all that stuff. It prevents you from being injured on a regular basis from all those simple household activities. So it will actually, training your core will make you more resilient to those. You will not get most of those small aches and pains from the other workouts, especially from weight training. So you can neglect your core and still do the weight training, and that's a recipe for disaster. This is what I have been through. I still have 3 herniated discs from that time. But, well, I am working on my back, and it has gotten much better recently. So don't neglect your core. You have to train it. And those who say that, okay, you can do it with only a calorie deficit. Again, this is not totally true. Yes, you can do it, but there is nothing to reveal there is nothing under your fat when the fat goes off. So make sure there is something, and not only like from the aesthetic perspective again, but from the injury prevention and making all of your other strength training much easier. Yeah, so we have selected a couple of calisthenic exercises, bodyweight exercises. You know most of them. Those are not fancy, really simple, and I will show you all the alternatives you can implement, starting from the jump rope. If you have a jump rope, do jump rope. If you carry very high amount of extra weight and you can't really jump, like jumping is not accessible to you, let's imagine, or it may not be accessible to you because of the knee pain, for example, then what I suggest you do is you do marches. Instead of jumping rope, you do your marches so you rise your knees to the waist level, and you accompany each knee with raising your hands to increase calorie burn. So, and you take the fastest pace possible. If you are a bit lighter and you don't have anything like against jumping, but let's say you don't have a jump rope, for example, then just jog in place instead. Or if you feel strong, or if you feel more energized, go for high knees. This, of course, has higher calorie burn rate. Those all are good replacements for the jump rope. And if this high knees is a bit too much, then jumping jacks is also one good replacement. It exercises basically the same muscles, all those small muscles in your foot. So this is jump rope and alternatives. Now we will have mountain climbers, of course, and the advanced version would be cross-body mountain climbers,
where you bring your knee to your elbow across the body. And again, if you are not there yet in terms of cardio endurance, then you may just do it slowly and focus on muscle contraction, maximum muscle contraction in this position, and just go slow as you need. If you have a bit more cardio endurance, then consider going a bit faster. But again, we are not going for speed here. The goal is to feel your abdominal muscles contract and stay under tension as long as possible. So in this respect, there is not much difference between doing this slowly and focusing on muscle contraction, or doing this like faster to rise your heart rate up. And your heart rate is gonna be up anyway, because in between of those exercises we are gonna have a jumping rope. So then we will have hollow hold. Hollow hold is a terrific isometric exercise. You just get into this hollow like boat position and we're gonna hold it. And the sequence of the exercises is such that we have one intense exercise like mountain climbers, for example, and then we have a lower intensity exercise like this boat hold, which will allow you to relax a little bit while still hitting your core musculature. So it will give you this bit of a break, but it will still keep your core engaged through the entire move. Then we have plank jacks, and there are like a couple versions, and I will show you. I will go for this one. So you do you get into this high plank position, feet together, and then you go feet apart with a jump, feet together, in, jump out, apart, together, in, out. These are the coaching cues. Again, go as fast or as slow as you want. Apart, together, in, out. This will, similar to mountain climbers, it will hit your core hard, and depending of how your shoulders development is going, it will hit your shoulders most likely too, because shoulder stability is very important in this exercise, and your shoulders will beg you for help at some point, and this is good, of course. Now we will have bird dog. Bird dog is a very effective corrective exercise, and again it's a bit of a less intensity, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. It will just give you this opportunity to have a bit of a breather. So you get into this bear crawl position, and you rise the opposite limbs, your one arm and the opposite leg. It will require balance, and more than anything else. And if this is too much, you can do it on your all fours, so you can get the knees down all the way to the mat and do it from the mat. This is also this is a easier version, but it still hits your core, and pretty much it allows you to work on those imbalances, because this type of a unilateral move, it allows you to exercise both sides of your core muscles separately. which will eventually make them evenly developed, which is obviously important. And then we will have, of course, Russian twists. This is a very intense exercise, and it's very technical. If you don't feel comfortable doing this version of it where you have your legs in the air the entire time, so this is how it looks like. You touch the floor on the side of you and keep your legs straight as you can. The easier version is to bend your knees. This will make it a bit easier. And then you can also plant your feet. So if you don't feel comfortable doing this legs in the air version, just plant your feet, or actually planting your heels is enough. And then lean back, just make sure you lean back far enough so that you feel your abdominals contracting effectively. And this is pretty much, it gives you more stability. So it will actually, for many people, it will result in a better, movement, in a more controlled movement. And doing things like cross-body mountain climbers and Russian twists, the reason why we have them in this workout is because we will want to exercise our core, hit it from all possible angles. And in order to do that, we need exercises in all three planes of motion. And this is sagittal plane, which is front to back, like those in and outs or regular mountain climbers. And then front plane, meaning side to side. This is going to be your plank jacks. And in this workout, what else do we have? Yeah, like those other ones are mostly sagittal, front to back. And then the third plane of motion is the rotational plane. So we want some rotation to be happening so that you can use your core to resist this rotation. This is exactly what cross-body mountain climbers do for you, and those Russian twists as well. So as you can see, we hit our abs from all possible angles, and not to mention that, of course, jump rope require core to be engaged all the time, same as running, because the main function of your core is to help you stay upright. And so jump rope by itself will make your core engaged most of the time. So this is a perfect addition, and of course it has this cardio benefits to it. And please don't worry that you will kind of start losing muscle because of having cardio component in this workout, because this is total BS. This is not going to happen, and it's not going to happen for a simple reason, because we are doing this strength training at the same time, in the same session. So we are sending this signal to our body that we need muscles, so please don't get rid of them. We're using them right now, but then we're having some cardio to develop our heart's capacity to process oxygen, which will eventually make us capable of doing harder workouts or using heavier weights and basically advance as athletes. So this is the goal, and if you have heard this myth that cardio impedes your muscle gaining ability, then it's not about this type of workout, okay? This is true actually, but it's true in a case where you are doing this marathon running, for example. If you do like 10-kilometer runs every other day, then of course you shouldn't be training with weights on the same day.
just do it the next day, just do it the next day. So you have to separate them then. But if this is like 10 minutes, this is not, those don't interfere. All the literature says the same thing, so please don't be afraid that you will lose muscle. This is not true in this particular case. So I will get the music going, and let me remind you guys that you can ask questions. So if what I have just said made you wonder about something, go put it in the chat. I will check it out after the workout. Or if you have like your own questions, bring them in, post them in the chat. If I fail to go through all of them today, I will answer them later in the comments to this video, and I will make sure to tag you so that you get notified about the answer. And I'm answering everything myself, and I'm using only my personal knowledge. And if I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know, or I need to go investigate this topic, or I need to go ask my mentor. And I will always give you the best answer I know, or point you to the book or to the person who is the best to answer this question of yours. That said, let's get to the action, to the actual workout. I will get the music going, and it will, like I said, take us about 12 minutes. There is not gonna be any big break in the middle. This is no repeat, single set. So again, no breaks, no excuses, no nothing. 12 minutes of work and you're done for the day. And for those advanced people there, just repeat this twice or 3 times max. And this is like when you start getting to this half an hour mark, it's kind of starts being boring for most people, and this is where the this diminishing returns basically start to happen. So the most effective time frame for this type of workout would be from 10 minutes to half an hour. No need to do much else, especially if you are repeating this every day, then 10 minutes is gonna be enough for most of you. So let me get the music, get my sound connected, and let's get started. Yeah, so sound. Yep. Yeah, we should have it now.
Get ready.
Yep, let's restart.
Get ready.
Get ready, guys. Just loosen your abs, loosen it up a bit, do some standing crunches, don't need much more.
Jump rope.
And we're always starting with the jump rope itself, so this is a proper warm-up tool, so don't worry too much if you are not warmed up in a sense, because you are warming yourself up during this first interval, and this is enough for most people. But of course, if you are kind of warm-up dependent for orthopedic reasons, then of course take your time, start the warm-up early.
make this a bit longer. I'm triggering up a bit too much to my liking. Mountain climbers.
Mountain climbers.
Gaze in front of you, gaze to the, point your gaze to the mat, not in front of you, because that will put your neck in a very dangerous position. Just look down, keep neutral spine, engage your core.
Rest.
Whew.
Jump rope.
Don't be afraid to mess up. It doesn't affect your training in any way.
Rest.
Keep your water bottle ready.
Hollow hole.
I'm already shaking. This is totally normal. This exercise may seem easy, but
Rest.
it's not.
Jump rope.
And make sure your workout is fun. Because if it's not fun, then what's the point? So the best way to make it fun, in my opinion, is to just have your favorite playlist going on and just try to match the beat of the music.
Rest.
Plank jacks.
Plank jacks.
Apart, together, in, out. Together, in, out. Together, in, out. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep your torso roughly parallel to the floor.
Rest.
If you feel a bit of a discomfort in your lower back, that's as long as it's like very light discomfort, that's okay. That means that your core musculature is not strong enough yet, and there is still room for improvement. If it starts like really hurting, then I consider you change this set of exercises slightly.
Rest.
For example, you may replace those brutal ones like mountain climbers to something like bird dog, more
Bird dog.
bird dog. Like bird dog or dead bug is the same thing, just lying on your back. Those corrective exercises, they will make you develop this initial core strength needed for more intense exercises. And bear crawl as well.
Rest.
Whew. Yeah, those exercises are such that they look easy, but when you start doing them, you're shaking all the way or
Jump rope.
falling to the side. If the music slows down, feel free to slow down. But once it speeds up again, you know what to do.
Rest.
Woo! Rushing to this last calisthenic exercise, the last jump rope interval, and we are done.
Russian twists.
So try this version first. If it's too hard, bend your knees. If that's too hard, plant your heels. Make sure you're bent back, lean back enough to feel your abdominals.
Rest.
Last interval, finish strong.
Jump rope. Workout complete.
Complete. Ah, that was amazing. Give yourself a tap on the back, people. We did this, and as you can see, this workout is short, but I managed to break sweat quite a bit. So it's really effective in terms of calorie expenditure. And if those moves are new for you, you will be burning much more calories than it says on the package, okay? Because those short workouts, you may see the estimated calorie burn from them and become a bit discouraged. But don't be, because when you only start training, all those moves are new for you. And you will be burning much more calories than it says on the tin, because your body will have to recruit all those other small and big muscles in your body to make sense of the movement and to stabilize your body during those new movements and activities. So this is it, and then this intense interval training creates this afterburn effect that is going to be active for hours after you finish the workout. It's not much, but you will have this elevated level of metabolism for hours. If this is your morning, then you are kind of in luck. You set yourself for a productive day, because not only you will get more energized, but your brain will also make use of all those hormones that you have just released by the means of this workout. And well, this is basically very well studied effects of strength training, is that now when you have all this energy, and you should feel like you have received energy from this workout, really, you can now go and use this energy to win your day. And this is what I suggest you do. And this is, if this is your afternoon or evening, as this is the case in my case, feel free to enjoy your dinner, and you earned it basically. So it doesn't literally work that way, so you can't, of course, overrun your bad nutrition, but basically you are done for the day, so there is no reason for you to hold your horses, hold yourself back from having a proper dinner. Just make sure you focus on lean proteins. Well, basically, you know the drill, you know the rules, you don't need more information. And if you do, consider subscribing not to miss the next workout or next educational video. And again, let me remind you that there is this free guide specifically for getting six-pack abs as soon as possible. It's completely free, links in the description. Now let me have a look at the chat and see if we have any questions there that need my attention. Hey, hi you all beautiful people, have a great day. Yeah, how to train your lower back, one of the first questions. Great question. And if you kind of think that core or anyway, core musculature is only your abs, then that's not true. Actually, even your glutes are a part of your core musculature. This is a bunch of muscle groups that make you stand upright, make you be able to stay upright in your standing position. And this obviously includes your lower back muscles. So basically proper core training will include lower back training. But if you want a quick answer to what would be the most effective way to train your lower back, the answer would be the hip hinge movements, the multi-joint foundational strength moves like squat and deadlift. Those are your best choices basically. So this hip hinge pattern where you hinge your hips back and take lift this heavy weight from the ground. You can do it without weight. It's gonna be a bit less effective if you don't have any weights. Do the same, do this good morning exercise, which is exactly this thing but without weights. Then hip thrusts, Google hip thrusts. There are a bunch of shorts on YouTube. This is also the same training, hip hinge without weights. But anyway, hip hinge moves and squat patterns. These are the best for training your lower back. And the more you do them, especially those single leg, like single leg deadlift, for example, like same thing, lifting the weight with your single hand, it will develop your core and your glutes, like in this diagonal kind of relation, and that will address your imbalances, and that in turn will make your lower back like rock solid and injury proof for the rest of your life. Great question, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, diamond push-ups. Demonstrate diamond push-ups. Okay? Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. I'm not sure if we have anything else, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's what would be the part that you want me to specifically demonstrate, because this is like, to me, it's one of the most basic push-up variations. You just put your hands together and you make this diamond shape with your index and thumb, and this is basically it. And then you go down all the way until you touch it with your chest, and then you go up until you lock out your elbows. Feet shoulder width apart, high plank position. Just your wrists are closer together than in the regular push-ups, and everything the same. All the same rules apply here from the regular push-ups. So don't sag your hips and don't like stick your butt out. Keep your torso parallel to the floor. And this is something that will start happening naturally when you develop strong core. And push-ups, by the way, are also one of those exercises that develop your core actually, when done right. So increase your time under tension. Do it slowly. Don't flare your elbows in. This is your diamond push-up. Now, thanks for motivation. Thank you, my friend, for showing up. Thank you. Yeah, and Second Life. yeah, those lives, of course, the hope is that I will motivate at least some of you people to get started on your fitness journey. And yeah, you can actually help yourself by like seeking those people that work out regularly, like and trying to stay around them more, because well, your community makes basically half of your character. Or you can of course hang out with people who do all the bad stuff and neglect their health, and the outcomes are not gonna be probably positive, or if they would be, then it's gonna happen despite all the hindrances that your environment kind of throws at you. Because you can, of course, the easiest way to stay consistent with your workouts is to design your surroundings to support your new habit. So if you know that, well, there are a bunch of people around you who don't respect self-development or like workouts or like developing yourself in any other way, then it's gonna be hard. Just, you know, take your time, work on your environment in such a way that it supports. Make your close ones, make your family members aware that you're starting this habit, and I can bet they are gonna be supportive of that. And if they are not, well, it's no good usually, but usually I haven't seen that very often. So if you are just starting, good luck, and again, try to see what is it in your surroundings, in your community, about the people you are hanging out with. So everything should ideally support your new endeavor. And good luck. Yeah, good evening, good morning, good evening, good everything. Yeah, so we don't have any more questions today, and let's keep this one shorter than we usually do. And if you still gonna be having any questions later today or any other day, put them in the comments if they relate somehow to the six-pack apps or core development. Put them in the comments anytime. I'm answering all the comments on this channel, and if you are enjoying the content, consider subscribing, and well, just give it a like to help the algorithm, so that we can share this love with more people, so that more people can benefit from it. And if you know someone who is struggling with extra weight, or maybe they are fit but they are, you know, trying to get rid of this last bit of fat on their abdominals, and this was, for me personally, that was a big one. So I've been pretty lean for a while, for like 2 years, but I've been struggling to remove this last bits of fat from my midsection, so that I can see my entire abdominals like properly defined. And so yeah, this is like basically just do what we have discussed today, or if you need even more information, that it's in my book, which is free and linked in the description. Thank you guys. Go thank yourself for showing up for this one more Friday, and you are on the right path to the stronger and leaner future self. And come see me next Friday at 4 p.m. sharp Eastern European summertime. See you next Friday. Thank you.